All right, cool. I'm recording. All right, so first things first, we'll start with the DXY. As always, we start with the highest time frame, and then we're gonna work ourselves down. So here, let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. Hey Ben, how are you? Your mic's on mute.
How you doing?
I am good.
You're
I'm
looking
good.
good tonight
You
with
say
the new
what?
hair. You're looking good tonight with the new hair.
Oh, thank you. It'll just be like behind it'll just be behind me, so you probably just never notice it. I think it's like the same hair I done had for a couple weeks. Let me see. All right, what do we have? Structure broke. Right there. All right, so this trend line, as you guys see, was broken, but it was respected. It never closed under, went into a downtrend. Let's see what else we have. We do still expect, well, I do still expect the US dollar to drop. I can see, let's go back up real quick. All right, so this level right here has been respected. And right now it's kind of like at a key level. I would classify that as a key level, this whole area right here. I could see it pulling back a little bit further. Our fibs point A to point B. It's at the 61.8, so it's kind of somewhat of a confluence. I want to see how these candles form though, because this is kind of a lot of bullish momentum right here. So I want to see how this kind of plays out right here before I get in for the sell, but definitely for the DXY, I'm expecting a sell overall. We all know, well, some people know, some people don't know that the US dollar is getting weak. But right now it's still on somewhat of a pullback for the time frame that it's on right now. But overall structure, I'm expecting a sale. But what I will say, price could go potentially up to this 100 mark and respect it. As long as price does not surpass this 100% fib, then we're still expecting the same analysis. So again, point A to point B with the fibs right here is pulling back. So of course we all know that the market moves in impulses and corrections. So we have our impulse down. We're expecting this correction right here. Then I'm expecting, I could see price pull back. Let me go to smaller time frame. Yeah, so price is still being respected, right? So we have higher highs and higher lows being maintained all throughout. So this is a new high point. We can expect a low if structure does not break right here. So I can honestly see price coming up to this 88.6 and then dropping. So I could see it looking something like, let me see. Something like this. Respect that. And then it could potentially pull down. Of course, we would be expecting it to go to our 27% fib expansion level. So this is what I see for the DXY. I think it could continue into its, so the current trend that it's in right here is an uptrend. But overall, I'm expecting a downtrend move. We're going to see what the US dollar does this week, but I'm definitely expecting a little bit more of a pullback just because there is no reason to go in for a sell right now. We don't have that impulsive move down. But I could see it pulling back a little bit more, testing this level right here and then dropping. Let's see, let's go on. So now I'm going to go to let's see, USD. So what do we have here? Okay, so structure was broken right here. Here we had a break of structure. So actually, I was originally expecting this to be a flag to go higher, but when structure broke right here and respected this level, I saw this break, and then I saw this retest of this trend line, right? Anytime there's a retest of a trend line, that means that price will continue with that momentum. So if we even look at this as a smaller time frame, we have our impulse correction, continuation, correction, continuation, correction, continuation. Price is just now settling out to see what the move is going to be. I definitely still see this going up, but I think that right now where structure is, I want to see if this is going to be respected right here. But if it does not respect, I could see this testing the low and then going up. So I would say, let's see. Hold on a second. Something like this. So see this, testing this low. Of course, it's not gonna, I don't expect it to make a drastic shift down like this. I'm just using this for like analyzation purposes. But I can see this testing this low right here, and then going up. Again, as long as it does not surpass this 100% mark, then our trend is still valid. So this is what I'm expecting, especially because structure was broken right here. So if we look back, we have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Structure was broken. We have a higher high. Now we're expecting a higher low point to make a new higher high point. Does everybody understand that?
Understand? Yeah, I do.
Okay, great. So that is what I see. Let's see. We will go into Euro. Let me see. We can go to Euro JPY. Let's see. I analyzed this with one of my students earlier, but right now, I see this in a flag, period, point blank. Like this is definitely a clear flag, and it's a clear flag to go lower. Way back when we caught this 61.8 price pull back, we had our drop, right? This is nothing but like a big flag. It's somewhat of a descending channel. However, the channel is not done. So I'm expecting it to test this high right here and then dropping again. And this could probably extend in a descending channel somewhat before price reverses. There's Euro JPY. Euro AUD, let's see. What do we have? Got the seller looking for, wait for the pull line to pull back. Then look for the seller finish, watch at the yellow monthly trend line. I don't know when I actually wrote this because this was forever ago. So I'm assuming this was the sell we're looking for because this is the last time I marked up this chart right here. So this was the sell. And I said wait for it to hit the low. All right, we got the buy. This is a key level right here. All of this, right? So what is important about our key levels? Can somebody tell me? Anybody?
Could you repeat that question, Jess?
An area where price can potentially reverse.
You say what?
An area where price could possibly reverse.
Okay, yes. An area in which price can reverse. That is a key level. Good job. Who is that? Kay?
Yes, ma'am.
Girl, I think I know your voice by heart right now. I ain't even know. Okay, so let me see. Let me go to a lower time. Well, actually, let me start from the higher time frame and work myself down since I haven't analyzed this in a while. Okay, so this is good. We have a little bit of confluence. One, we know all euros. Like I have a sell for all euros, so like that's an indication that, of course, if I'm analyzing another euro here, then I'm expecting it to go down, especially as the base. Let me see. All right, so structure was broken right here. What was respected at this key level, but this high was somewhat broken. Well, first off, we have an uptrend, right? So when I don't want to confuse anybody because it was broken on the lower time frame, but it's respected on a higher. So if we see this is a clear uptrend right here, this is an ascending triangle. Right here is where this key level was broken, but it's also somewhat respected because even though it shot up, you see it's still consolidating at this area. It's not like it just kept going higher and higher and higher. So right now, let me go to another time frame. Okay, yeah. So we see lower lows and lower highs being formed. Wait for this flag to get to about right here, but I can see this dropping lower, respecting this area right here. But price could continue lower after that. But for now, for this week's move or whatever the case may be, I would say still at this trend line. Let's see. Yeah. Because right now we have lower lows and lower highs being respected all throughout this area right here. So this low, now we need a pullback to continue down. Gotta do, let's see what we have. Dang, I don't even know the last time I analyzed this. All right, so one, we have point A to point B. Of course, we were expecting our negative 27. Anytime on my fibs, anytime I draw the fibs from a point to a point, then I'm expecting that negative 27 mark to get hit. Anybody have any question about the fibs, then I need you guys to understand that it's on a trend. So when you draw your fibs from point A to point B, there is a trend with no consolidation. That's the easiest way that I can basically break it down for people to understand. So you have point A right here. So I'm actually going to put an ellipse so you guys can see point A, B. And then we have our 23.6. Can somebody tell me what 23.6 means?
The shallow retracement?
That what?
Continuation of the trend.
Yes, so that means that that's not a valid retracement. PRZ levels are price reversal zones. Price reversal zones are always on the fib retracements. So opposed to price reversing in any of these zones, 23.6 lets you know that the trend is going to continue. It's not yet done finished. So what you do, I always expect it to go to negative 27, so I always put my take profit down there. However, when you find that new low, all you do is now drag your new fib down. So now this is point B. So then I would be expecting price to see how far it's going to pull back. Be aware of Brexit. Be aware of Brexit. There's a lot that's going on with the GBP, the pound right now, as well as the US dollar. So just be aware of this. Trade what you see, not what you think, because as you guys know, news is very, very, very impulsive, and it can affect any market in any way. All the time, like period, point blank. News, when it comes to news, and don't have a fear of missing out. Sometimes people are like, oh, I want to trade news, I got to catch all these picks. Like, if you understand structure, you can really, really minimize your risk, period, point blank. So I'm expecting the market to correct, and then I'm expecting a drop. I'm actually expecting a drop to occur with Brexit. So look out for that. Let me see something. Yeah. So I'm expecting a correction. Then I can see the market pushing lower 100%. We could potentially get a drop, a pullback to about right here between this 78.6 and 88.6, and then a drop, but know that it's going to take time. And I actually very much like this simply because right here we have these new lows, low highs. Then we had like this little point in which, if we look on a smaller time frame, this area right here are now higher highs and higher lows. right? Of course, on the bigger time frame, like you can see, this high has not yet been broken, but I am expecting it to come up. There is a little bit of candlestick exhaustion for the buyers right here. However, like with everything that's going on, especially like with the US dollar dropping and stuff like that, I could definitely see like the Great British Pound 100% gaining value and then dropping. So I got GBP USD for a short term, very short term buy, very short term. Let's see.
How short term?
You said what?
How short term? When you say short term,
Yeah, I was saying that it could potentially pull up to this 88.6, between this 78 and 88.6. So short term meaning like I'm not expecting it to go higher than this point.
So definitely not a safe trade for the trend.
I mean, it is safe depending on what you consider. Like, I don't know what type of trader you are. So there are some people that are scalpers that like literally can make their day 30, about 30 pips or so. If that's you, then you can definitely monetize off of this trade. Because the thing is like, I'm on the 4-hour time frame right now. So that's a bigger time frame. So if you're like a swinger, then no, don't take the trade. If you're a scalper or an intraday trader, you can possibly like definitely gain money off of this trade. Right now it's 9:00 p.m. So I don't even trade, like only trade London. So I would see how it plays out in the morning, but based off of the candles and how it's kind of forming and stuff like that, I see this as being like a big correction to continue lower.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's see what we have. Okay, so this is beautiful. Break right here. We have a retest. I'm expecting this to go up as well, then drop, which is actually so much confluence because just like with the Euro pairs, with Great British Pound pairs. Now, with Great British Pound, actually, let me take that back. I was about to say because the GBPs are dropping, or because I see the GBPs going, well, flagging up and then dropping, all of them should do the same. But you do have GBP CAD, GBP NZD, and GBP AUD moves kind of simultaneously. And then GU and GJ could be kind of iffy, depending on what's going on with the US dollar index as well as the yen. So always understand that, because everybody, well, a lot of people have misconceptions like, yo, like the Great British Pound is going up, so all GBP pairs will go up. Depending on what's happening in each individual country, that's why it's very important to understand the base and the quote, because with the quote pairs, if the quote pairs are off, usually CAD, Australian dollars, and NZD, they all move alike in terms of trading with like the pair GBP CAD, GBP AUD, GBP NZD. Like mostly 9 times out of 10, they move the same. I actually am about to pull up just so you can see what I mean. So I'm gonna put all 3 of these pairs side by side. This is the 4-hour chart on my left for GBP CAD, and on my right, I'm going to put GBP AUD. I got the fibs. I honestly don't want to erase my markup because I love keeping my markups. So let me just, I don't want to confuse y'all, so I'll just put it up. But you see how like we have this downtrend, and then they're both respected at the low. You see how that's somewhat simultaneous. Does that make sense? Then if I pull up GBP NZD right here, like they all somewhat have some confluence. Do you see what that means? Like, do you see what I'm talking about? You see how you have this downtrend and then they're all respected, downtrend, respect. These kind of move alike. But if I pull up GBP, let's say GBP JPY, you see that? Hello, guys.
Yeah, we see it.
We said. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and then GU sometimes is like a little off too, compared to the rest and how they move. I would say that GCAT, GCAT, GA, and GBP, NZD have the most confluence. Let me see if I could put a, like, I'm going to put a 4 at once. All right, so I don't want my markups to confuse y'all, but let's see. I'm going to pull up the 1 hour. Zoom out. So we got that. And then all right. So if you look at this, you see how GA and GBP NZD are somewhat alike. So we have this downtrend, then we have these highs now. You see? And then all right here. But with this, with GU, it's a little off. Oh man, I did not mean to do that. Hold on a second. Which one is that? NZD? So you guys see how GA and GN are alike, but like GU to the top left looks nothing like these two. It's still somewhat in the downtrend. You guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and it's not always like, typically when GBP pairs move, they all move alike, but like sometimes GU and GJ could be a little bit off from the rest. So when people trade London session, they're like, oh, you know, one of the GBP pairs are going up, so all of them are going to go up. Like that isn't always the case, depending on what happens with the US dollar and the Japanese yen. Something that I want you guys to note, particularly when it comes to the Japanese yen, is understanding how it moves with different currencies, and then how it also affects everything else. So like when the Japanese yen, if Japanese yen goes up, US 30 always drops. So just like keep that in your mind. Gold as well. Like a lot of people think gold and US 30 move alike. Like sometimes you have to think, when people, if the United States economy is going down or whatever case may be, and people literally like, let's say take their money out of their stocks, then they buy gold. Does that make sense? Because US 30, like we know that that's the top 30 stock, the top 30 companies in the stock exchange, right? So typically when people literally like remove their money from stocks, they usually buy gold. Okay, so just keep that in your mind, because a lot of people are like, oh, you know, when US 30, so, well, somebody said it to me the other day, and then I literally was looking at them like, what are you talking about? They were like, you know, I'm gonna buy gold because US 30 is going up too. And I was just like, what? Like, what does that have to do with anything? You know what I'm saying? Always analyze your own charts too. Like, no matter who you're learning from, always analyze your own charts. Like, don't just pop a signal blindly. Like, if you care about your money, learn first. Learn and then trade on your own. Because when you pop a signal or somebody just give you a signal, like you literally putting your whole finances in somebody else's hands. Like you don't know what the hell is going on in that signal. What they see, you might not see. And sometimes you could be like, never change your analysis based off another trader either. Because the thing is that people are humans, right? literally a trade can go one way, or you can think it's going to go one way, or whatever the case may be, and then you change your analysis because Flojo said that the trade is going to do something else, and then you were right the whole time, and then you ended up losing a trade because you took somebody else's thought process and opinion. Like, don't do that. Trust yourself. Like, honestly, that's the best advice that I could give. What else did I go over? Actually, let's go over US 30 while we got it though. Let's see. So, yes.
Hello.
Hi.
What were you saying about when US, the Japanese?
Wait.
And
Wait. You're I can't hear you. You're breaking up. Can you say that again? Hello?
Yeah, just now you said something with US. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm listening.
Hello.
Can
Right.
you hear?
You were saying something with the Japanese yen and the correlation with USD and some other I can't remember. It's like to repeat it.
Wait. Can you just do me a favor and write it in the chat box? I'm about to check the chat because I cannot.
Jessica, he has the same question I have. Could you repeat what you said about the yen going up and what US 30 and gold? You were talking about the correlations or the opposites of the three.
Okay, yeah. So I said that well, I didn't really give a correlation between gold and US 30. All I was saying that typically when people pull their stocks out of US 30, then they buy gold, right? That's just like a known thing in trading. But particularly when it comes to what I was saying was like basically some people have this like conception like, oh, just because I am shorting US 30, I'm about to short gold too.
No, I'm sorry, but not that part. You said something about when the yen goes up, US 30 goes down.
Oh yeah. So
yeah,
when
that part.
Yeah, so if the Japanese yen, typically when the Japanese yen is going up, then US 30 is doing the opposite. I don't know why. Oh wait, what is JPY index? It's not this. No, it's not this. What's the Japanese index? Let me just pull up. All right, so this is going to actually, I'm not even going to give this example because I don't want to confuse anybody. But what I was saying that with US 30 and particularly when the Japanese yen goes up, US 30 is going to go down. Just note that, all right? So if you see US 30 going up, then Japanese yen is doing the opposite. Okay, guys? Did everybody have that? Everybody take note of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Hold on one second. Let me put the chat box.
And then isn't there a correlation between oil and CAD and JPY?
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. Hold on a second. Hold on. I don't know what this chat box is. Jamie Lawson said AUD news is coming out. Yeah, it is. Is AUD news tonight? Let's see. I have a lot of private messages. Anybody have questions thus far about anything?
AUD news is in like 23 minutes.
Yeah. Anybody have questions about anything?
Not now.
Euro news is coming out this week too. I think it's either maybe tomorrow. No, I think it's Wednesday. Let's see. No.
All right, I got a question.
Yeah, what's that? Thursday.
So, in regards to Fibonacci,
Mhm.
now Fibonacci is usually used from a high point to a low point, usually on impulses. Okay.
Yeah. Wait.
Now,
Usually on what?
can you use it from a low to a high on a correction?
Wait, what?
All right, Fibonacci is usually used from a high to a low on an impulse, or a low to a high on an impulse.
Yes.
Now, can you also utilize the Fibonacci on the correctional waves? Like,
Well, it
like
depends. So that depends on what kind of trader you are. Because if you are good at scalping, absolutely. If not, don't even try it. Also in understanding what you're analyzing. So like for instance, with this pair right here, I would literally with UJ, I would draw from here to here. That would be that literally my low to my high, right? So from here to here. And then we had this impulsive move up. It tested at the 50%, shot down lower. Then I would adjust my fibs to the new low point and it pulled back. But the thing is on every single time frame, each time frame is different. You see what I'm saying? So if you're a scalper and you're trading off the 30 or 15 minutes, as long as you understand overall structure, yes, you can. However, you have to also understand that you are counter trending. So I know people that catch moves within moves, especially if it's a consolidation zone. Like if you have a big consolidation zone, I think when we started, was it Euro USD? That was a consolidation. No. What was the pair when I was like, it's going to go up and then Euro can? I think it was a Euro pair. Yeah.
I think it was Euro EJ.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Okay, yeah. So like for this move, absolutely, 100%. Yes, because even like I know some people when I was telling people that you could buy at this low because price is going to reverse. Like so far they've caught literally all of these pips. But you have to understand that when you are counter trading, like you will always be taking a risk. So it depends on how many pips you're trying to get. Some people are satisfied with just 20, 30 pips a day. That's if you're a scalper. Intraday traders, 30 to 50 pips a day. But if you're like a swing trader and you're trying to catch like an overall move of like 100 pips or plus, like no, you would not use the fibs on the counter trend. But yes, fibs are definitely used from the high to the low, but you also have to understand that like when you have a move like this, right? So let's say I took, let's say I went from, I'm gonna use here to here, right? Right here. So let's say I went from this high to this low, point A to point B, then we have point C. Anytime you are analyzing the market and you draw your fibs, you always want to know what point C is so you can know your lot size to use on what you're trying to trade. And also understand your risk. But if I were to look at point C, I'm just gonna put a lift tool over this. That's the 1 hour, and then I go down to the 15-minute. If I choose to counter trend, right? I would look at this. Then now we have point A to point B, right? Point A, point B, and you will see what the market is doing because you always know the market is going to pull back. But the thing is also when understanding like a counter trend and stuff like that, you can't necessarily expect it to hit that negative 27 because you're taking like a huge risk. Does that make sense? So like if I would have drawn right here, yes, my negative 27% like got hit or whatever the case may be. But like if the trend is done and there's like a change in direction, absolutely not. But like that's what I mean by you got to understand what you're analyzing. And like if you aren't an experienced trader, I would say absolutely not. Do not even try it. But if I don't know where you are in your learning curve. I don't know what you've mastered and have not mastered. But if you haven't really like mastered scalping, then don't do it. Always trade with the trend. That's the safest way to trade because if you're trading against the trend, you can have crazy drawdown for no reason. If you're trading within the trend, you know that eventually at some point you're going to be in profit. It just depends on how long you have, not to sustain the trade, but how much patience you have. Does everybody know who Quillen is? Q Banks?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Y'all do? All right. Hold on one second.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Everybody say hello to you.
What up? What up?
What's up, Q?
Guys.
What's good? What's good? Yo.
Hi, Q.
What's good?
All right, so he's not teaching because he had class today. But as you guys know, that's like the main person that I learned from in trading.
Thanks.
As you guys know, that's like the main person that I learned from in trading, as well as Steven Cylinder. Trading is a journey. Like, that's the main thing I want y'all to understand. Trading is a journey, and if you don't understand the journey, then you can never expect to catch the money. Period. Point blank. That makes sense, guys.
Yeah. We can hear you.
All right, perfect. I don't know why I like hear a whole bunch of background noise, but like I mentioned, I was gonna make it short because I have to teach a boot camp literally in 15 minutes. So I'm sorry if it seems like rush or whatever, but I have my other students. I've been like literally on calls back to back since 7 o'clock. But
Hey, that's Teresa Key. For some reason, they might unmute. That's Teresa Harris and Kiki.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, guys, like I had to hurry up today's call. Sorry, but I didn't want to cancel the call. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. I'll actually post this video on YouTube if you guys want to catch it or whatever the case may be. Make sure you guys are in the Telegram. I think most of you guys are. Is there anybody that's not in the Telegram? Just say yes. If you aren't, if you are, then cool. And I hope you guys have a good night.
Thank you so much for your time.
Bye.